later on, Jerome Powell is set to speak, and everyone will probably remember that the dollar got really kicking when he spoke last week. In fact, maybe it's just this specific chart, but I've got a gap on my dollar index chart. And you guys got to think, I mean, this is one of the most traded assets, it has a ton of liquidity. So for a gap to occur, something wild must have been said or happened. So we might get a little bit more of that today. So to help prepare for that, of course, I'm glad you guys are here so we can go into some technical setups. We'll go to Marco first, and we can kind of go through anything that you're seeing. Traders in the audience, this will probably be a little bit Forex focused. So if you're a Forex trader, stick around with us. These guys both are pretty Forex related, and I might try and squeeze in some indices and gold for you as well. So Marco, what do you got?
Sure. So starting with the Euro US dollar, I did take a trade right here, somewhere around this level. And it was a loss, unfortunately, but what I was seeing basically is a descending structure after which I expect a reversal up. And I was seeing the confirmation with these 3 blue candles, so I was happy to look for buys and got in on one right here. Right now, since I'm stopped out, I'm waiting for the break of this major high and this major low. And I'm just looking for a large impulse up or large impulse down. So you do say some dollar news are in play, correct?
Yes. So yeah, we have pretty big news on the horizon with Jerome Powell speaking later on. So yes, definitely USD pairs could be set to move big.
Yeah, I try to keep away from all of the news, to be honest, just to not get too confused. But maybe that's exactly what I'm waiting for. So I'm just waiting for momentum up or momentum down, which can happen because of major news. EJ, Euro Japanese Yen, kind of flat here on the top, but might still continue in this general direction up. So let's see if that happens. Then I'll look to buy right here on the top of this leg. Aussie US dollar is overall descending, not very clean price action, so not the cleanest formations, but I would look for buys if we get something like this. Again, dollar news, so we may get a large push up, and then I'll look to get in on a buy setup, but I would need the confirmation as well. So if the news prints with one huge candle, I would like to see the next candle continue up as well, because this first candle can just be a fake out, and then we can get a complete reversal and a wide flat range. So always after huge news candles, I need the confirmation as well. Aussie Japanese Yen, flat. So looking for large impulse up or large impulse down, not on my watch list.
Want to stay up to date with all the latest trading information? In the description below, you'll find the link to join our free Discord. The Discord gives you instant access to lots of helpful material like free trading courses, chart analysis, updates about what's happening in the A1 community, as well as discount codes for our other products and services. The best part, all of this and more is 100% free. So go down in the description below this video and check it out for yourself. If you're interested in upgrading to the full VIP Discord featuring our team of expert traders signals, you can use the live chat link in the description to get connected with one of our team members in seconds. So don't wait, go check out the free Discord today.
Then we have the pound, which is, to me, a bit flat here as well. So let's see what happens after the news. Large push up or a large push down is what I'm looking for. Final one for me is the New Zealand Japanese Yen. This one is flat in this area as well, to be honest. So I'm not seeing much on the Japanese pairs. To recap, EU, not on my watch list. EJ, yes, I'm looking at it, possibly to continue up. AU, yes, looking for a push up like this. AJ, nothing. Pound, nothing. And NJ, I'm being more patient as well. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Marco. And I have, to your point about, of course, pointing out we've got news later on, which will be set to move the dollar pretty good. I want to go to Miko with the same question, I guess, prepping for today. I guess where you guys will be a huge help to the audience as we get set up for today is, I was trying to make this point just before you guys came on. Everybody kind of pops in for the big events, but then they generally tend to leave when it's actually time to set up a game plan. It's kind of like if you were to only show up for the football game or the sports event without going to any practices, right? Like we got to get some practice in here. So I want to ask Miko, in terms of USD pairs. So I've shifted. I've kind of joined the enemy, and I'm now kind of more on the dollar bearish camp. Are you bullish on the dollar? What do you think?
I'm quite neutral at the moment, to be honest. I'm kind of looking at seeing what's happening with the DXY. I was coming to the week pretty bearish on dollar, of course, after the humongous move to the downside, and we took out some important lows here. So after that's happened, I'll be looking for price to continue down. And I was originally looking for price to come back, retest some of these lows here on the daily chart, and then just continue down. But we've kind of broken above it a little bit. But all I'm seeing on the daily chart so far is just a bunch of wicks higher. So if we can maintain this, especially with today's candle still got 10 hours left before it does close. If we can throw another wick into this level here, I think from that perspective, I have to be favoring dollar weakness going forward, because we've seen an incredible breakout. It looked like a few times that price was going to break above this level this week. We had a few attempts above the level, but nothing confirmed. And with today's daily candle closing as such, of course, we still got a long way to go. But if you close similar to this with those 3 wicks to the upside, I'll be favoring dollar to continue south. At that point, I'll be looking to switch my bias to completely bearish from neutral, and looking to anticipate more upside for pairs like Euro, Pound, and Aussie. So yeah, I think I'll be favoring dollar sells, but I will wait to see how this daily candle does close, and of course the 4H candle as well. Seeing a lot of momentum at the moment. That could be interesting if we do take out this low here. I think the floodgates will probably open to the downside. So yeah, taking that into other dollar pairs, Euro USD bouncing off this level here, not really clean. I do like Aussie though. Aussie's not too bad, coming back to retest this high here. If I am going to trade any dollar pair, probably will be Aussie dollar for a move up higher. But I'm not too sure how far these trades will go. But I do like Aussie dollar coming into this area. Got some nice trendline confidence as well. 1, 2, 3, breaking test off that high. Not a bad place to long. So I do favor dollar weakness if you do see a strong candle closure there on the daily chart. But at the moment, I'm kind of just waiting to confirm my bias, I would say.
Also, I have an added confluence for Aussie US dollar to go up.
Yeah, what do you got?
Look, I'll do a market buy right now.
Yeah,
yeah. I wanna also, so thanks for doing that, Miko, in terms of like the dollar. It's a topic that I think everybody in the audience is really interested in. And I actually want to ask the audience to help us out with something really quick, because Miko, Marco, we've got our ideas. Let's get a little bit of a crowdsourcing thing here. In the Telegram right now, I just dropped a poll for us. I just asked USD, what do you guys think we're discussing on stream? Bullish or bearish? And it sounds like, of course, Miko, you're kind of neutral. I like to, you guys know, I like to make it dramatic and spice things up and not let people be neutral, because that, you know, it makes it exciting. But I totally understand, like, there's such thing as being neutral on a market. But I didn't even leave that option, because, you know, I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but polls sometimes they make like an easy answer, and that always like bothers me, because it'll be like, what do you think? This? Oh, I don't really have an opinion. It's like everybody just clicks that. Anyways, if you guys aren't in the Telegram, come join us. Everybody in the chat here, cast your vote. We're doing a vote right now. They're in Telegram. The link is in the chat. But let us know what you guys think, bullish or bearish. Maybe we'll give this some time. But again, if you guys want to participate in that, I am on the dollar bearish camp, but don't let that be decisive for you. Please vote candidly. I'm very curious to see what you guys as an audience say in just a few minutes. But the link to the Telegram where you can vote on that is in the description. And stick around in there. We got trading ideas and setups being shared each day. So take advantage of that. Anyways, I mentioned I got to creep in on my S&P positioning. Part of my game plan here today is we've got the panel and discussion questions from Powell later on today. It's definitely going to be market moving for both the dollar and for pretty much everything, indices, gold, etc. I'm still bullish. The S&P, I think we have potential to break out of this area. That's what I'll be looking for. And if it doesn't, my goal is to trail out with a trailing stop. But I know we've already talked about the S&P before you guys joined, but a market that we haven't really gotten to, and it's Marco's favorite, not actually, but I always force him to look at it. Gold. What do you guys think?
Gold.
So Marco, I'll come to you first. Let's do it.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Gold.
Also, before you
actually-
go on this, Marco, one thing to think about too, from a fundamental perspective, gold and the Australian dollar have some similarities. One of the things, of course, each one moves differently, and you've obviously done your back testing to find the right things for you. But one thing to consider from a high level fundamental standpoint, just like when we talk about the Canadian dollar and its relationship to like oil prices because of their exports of oil, the Australian dollar has some connection to gold and to the Chinese economy, just by the very nature of what Australia is. They're out in the Pacific there. They're a commodity heavy economy, and they also do a lot of trade with China. So little quick fact for you. And oftentimes you'll notice that the Australian dollar and gold, not always, but often enough to mention, they have some correlation in their price movements. So anyways, continue. I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I do find that the price action is a bit different. So nowadays, the last two streams, it was very clean, I have to say, on gold. What I'm seeing right now is something I really like, which is these tight moves that don't really have much volatility, but instead they pick a direction and then they move with the direction. So that is what I like to see, and that is kind of how the Aussie US dollar moves most of the time when it's trending. So right here, I'm seeing a bit of weakness starting to come up with these large blue candles. And here, the current one that is printing as well. Also, the lows are being broken very correctively. So I wouldn't be surprised if this descending channel actually gives us a temporary reversal, maybe a complete reversal, something like this. That is what I usually see with these sort of patterns in the price action. So I like it. It's clean. When I see clean price action, I'm definitely interested to look for a trade. It's not just about the patterns. It's about the candle formations as well. And these ones look clean. So how it used to be this is how I remember gold. It always looks like this. Huge wicks all over the place, volatility, huge candles. That is what I do not like to see. But the most recent price action is very nice, I have to say.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a move lower here recently that's started to move nicer. I definitely agree. There was like a week period after all the geopolitical stuff. Obviously, it hasn't calmed down, but not so headline news. It really led to just a choppy consolidation phase. So now we're starting to see a little bit of volatility there. What do you think, Miko, in terms of gold? Obviously, one thing that's really weird to me is that gold and the dollar are moving almost like together right now, which is weird. They're both trading lower overall last few days. But what do you think? You have any opinions on gold?
I was looking at gold a lot coming into the week. We broke through a big level 1980 that I was talking about last week, but I wasn't expecting gold to break back underneath, but we did see that pretty early on this week, and a pretty hefty move as well. So since we did clear that level, we have come back into another big one here around 1950, 1940. So I'm waiting to see how price reacts with this high. We've had a pretty steep move, so naturally a correction would probably be needed for gold since we have broken back underneath 1980. So this could be a place where buyers would be looking to see if they can take gold back to the upside again. I would say it's a little bit early to say if we are going to push to the upside. The price action is just a little bit corrective. I've seen some nice momentum come back into it, but I want to see price start giving some higher highs and higher lows before I favor upside. But on the other hand, it's a very nice place to expect to see gold rise. But I will keep an eye out for 1980 again, because we could come straight back down as well. So with gold as well, I would say I'm short-term bullish because of where we're coming in. But from a longer-term scale, I want to see price break through 1980 before I cement a longer-term bullish bias on gold.
Okay, fair enough. And Miko, I want to point out we gotta stay true to our concept about gold I think you and I were both like bearish, and I got like absolutely devastated in my comment section. Like it was a wasteland. It was like people were like, Nick, you were bearish on gold. What happened? Talk about that for a second, because again, I don't shy away from it when I'm wrong about an idea. Like at the end of the day, I'm not here to trade your account. I'm doing my thing, but there's also something to be said, and I'm sure you have like an opinion on this too. There's something to be said about like just being like, yeah, look, if I was wrong, let's move on. Let's find the next setup. You know, there's something about being constructive rather than just pointing figures and getting angry. But what do you think about that? And I guess, Marco, you can chime in on this too, but I'll go to Miko first, just because I know him and I had both kind of agreed on like a bearish idea, but I'll come to you in a second. Miko, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're looking to trade, analyze the market, you're taking in information and you're creating an idea, a judgment based on that. But you will never be 100% correct because you don't take in all the information there is about the market. There's so many different aspects, people buying, selling. You know, you could have a bias and someone could place a trade and suddenly the market goes in the opposite direction. So unless you have 100% of the data that goes into the market, then you can be possibly 100% correct. But if you don't, then there always will be times where you're wrong, no matter how good you are at analyzing the market. So once you understand that concept, then all you need to understand is, okay, can I find a consistency in analyzing the market in a certain way, whatever you look at, and just keep tackling it that same way. You'd be wrong sometimes, right sometimes, manage your risk, and yeah, keep playing the numbers. That's how I look at it anyway. Yeah,
no, that I would say that's very well put. At the end of the day, even if you did have 100% of the information, there's another level to that. This is why markets are so hard, guys. Even if you had 100%, which is impossible, there's a trillion variables that go into the price of gold. Like it's beyond what you would, you know, possibly be able to humanly or even with software be perfectly correct with all the data. But even if you did, not only that, the data's constantly changing. So you also have every one of those variables changing millisecond to millisecond. So the point is, don't let that stress you out. You don't have to be perfect in the markets. That's the relief, is like, you don't need to be perfect in order to be profitable. You just need to know how to manage risk. Anyways, if we show my screen here for a second, I just want to follow up before we go to Marco, because I do want to ask that same, if you had any else to think about that. Here's the update on the poll we did, guys. 193 votes, which there's 400 of you guys watching, so get your votes in there. But anyways, 42% said bullish, 58% said bearish. It's a pretty mixed room. Sometimes I'll throw up these polls and we'll get like something like 75-25 or like 85-15. So a little bit mixed and probably a fair positioning, especially ahead of big news later on today. So with that said, I want to give Marco a chance to respond to that concept as well. Marco, how do you deal with social media? But honestly, I like to relate this to everyone. Even if you don't have a social media presence, the internal voices, right? Of like, I was calling for this and it didn't happen. How do you deal with like the internal voices or the external ones? If somebody was like, Marco, you're an idiot. Like what, how do you deal with that? Like what's the solution?
So it's all about focusing on your data, and it's all about knowing your probabilities. So when I'm in a buy, there's always going to be someone who is in a sell at the same time. So the conflict will always be there. But as long as you have probabilities and you have a tested strategy in at least, let's say, a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, maybe even a 10-year period, and you know when you see, for example, a descending channel like this, and that 70% of the time this actually reverses to the upside, well, then you don't have to really be correct every single time. 70% of the time you'll have a winner, 30% of the time you'll have a loss. So it's all about sticking to your data, your backtesting data, and not getting the people, so not really getting offended by other people's opinion, right? Or letting that get to you. So yeah, focusing on your data, that's the only thing that works.
Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free Edge Finder, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.